over on Twitch. So, like I said, I don't know if you guys saw the announcement or not. To be honest, I shouldn't be that arrogant to assume everybody sees what I post, because that's not right. I'm live on Twitch as well right now, so feel free to join me over there if you want to get a better view of the workstation. As you can see, I am still adjusting the camera to try and give people over on Twitch a direct down view of, oh, for the love of God, it's probably Twitch again. Yeah, a direct down view of my workstation, so that way they can see it from directly overhead and get a slightly more unique experience. Eventually, I'm going to hard mount this camera right here. I've already decided that. I just do not know what type of equipment I will need to pull that off. But it would save me from having to have this rig set up all the time. Which I don't mind the rig, but oh my God, it gets in the way sometimes. Plus, then I can set up this thing and have it set for life. So, here we go. Where are we at? Ah, right. NT-1 Alex. So, we're going to start on the head. The last time we were working on it, we did the eye section, which I don't know if you guys can see it, so let me just, give me this. Get it closer for TikTok. The eyes turned out very nice. Like, it was just a simple paint job, but it turned out very well. So, you know, I like it. For everybody on Twitch, I gotta talk to Dobbs and see if he knows how to get the camera to focus. I bet you he'd know if anyone would. So, actually, we're just going to leave that off. Now, since we're going to be working on various parts today, I'm just going to start off by doing disassembly. And don't know how well you guys can see on Twitch, and I know TikTok, but I know Twitch can't really see it because it's overhead. There are little accessories I built into this rack. I still don't like that angle. You can't see a damn thing. But anyways, there are little accessories I built into this rack that are designed for when I'm working on stuff like this. In fact, every one of my racks have them now, thank God. And they come in handy when you're doing SD Gunpla. A lot of handy when you're doing SD Gunpla. So, why are you not opening up? There we go. Too tight. That's what it was. Never heard that before. Moving on. Now, we have our shield and stuff. Now, this piece here. So, part of the problem with this guy is, and we're going to have to make a mod real quick to be honest. Part of the problem is, he doesn't have a peg hole on the bottom. Like, for some reason, they just didn't put one in. I think it's because of the age of the unit. I mean, this is an 04 kit. So, it's very obvious in the arms. There's no bend for the elbows, which later kits in that timeline, or that part of the timeline, do have them. Like the seed kits, they all have elbow joints. So, since he doesn't have that, and he needs a stand, we're gonna need a part. Yeah, I know. So, the part we're gonna use is just a generic stand base piece. Let me see. This one looks like it could work. Any others? No, those are all too big. Okay. So, yeah, I got a lot of extra stand parts. It just happens. That being said, let's jump into this part. So, as you can see, we got our extra stand part here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to see how much we need to remove. First off, does it even fit? That's a better question. It barely fits. So we may have to remove some from the ends. Yeah, we'll have to remove some from the ends, but we also need to cut it down a good bit. Let's set that to this side. We're going to need sanders. Over here you go. Now, normally I wouldn't be starting with mods, but this one here, it's kind of in need of this part so that I can utilize this piece of the stand kit. Because I based, when I built these parts for the stand kits, I based them on more modern stands, so, or more modern kits I should say. So yeah, now this is a good old-fashioned metal sander. They take off so much plastic really quickly, so you got to be careful not to over sand. Does that make sense? Like you can see I already got black powder on my hands from it, and that's pretty normal actually with these kind of things. So we're gonna keep going. Now I kind of designed this to be a tutorial on how to do these, so eventually, if I haven't already uploaded them, I think I've already uploaded one, but I haven't uploaded a second one, I'll be uploading all these over to my YouTube channel. I've done the same name, Grinding Gunpla, so feel free to look for them over there in case you want to get caught up or see what we started with. So we're going to see if this fits any better. We have removed a lot of plastic. Nope, not yet. I need a different sanding stick. Give me just a second, guys. I gotta go to my box. I have 3 toolboxes full of parts. Or not parts, but tools that I utilize for this crap. I don't keep everything in the main boxes usually. There we go. Let's see, that's a memory board, another sander. You're the. Wait, no, you're fine. What the hell? Okay, so I had one more really rough one. That's just an orange. Well, that's weird. Okay. Okay. So I don't have the sander I needed. So we're going to have to go a different route on this one. I just want to make sure nobody commented while I was gone. Yep, okay, cool. Nobody commented while I was gone. Didn't miss anybody's comment, so I don't feel bad. Moving on. Whew. It's a lot of work. It doesn't help that I'm fat and I can't breathe when I bend over. I'm not that fat, good lord. If I get that fat, I'm buying a moo-moo, just because it's funny. I'll look like Al's mother-in-law in the Bundys. Oh, for the love of God, what now? You know, it's all day long this phone won't go off until the minute I'm busy. And the minute I'm doing something, ba-ding, ba-ding, ba-ding. Nothing. Okay, cool. Just a YouTube notification about a video that I don't give a crap about. You might like this. I've watched too much true crime shit on that channel. Okay, let's see if that's sanded down enough. If it'll fit now, then we're good. We can move on to the next phase. Oh, it's a perfect fit, too. Okay. Now, if I had to guess... all things considered, we need to remove about that much. So probably clipping it right about there to start, just to see if that gives us closer or if we still need to go further in. I'm not going to wear eye protection at this part, guys. So now, if we take this and slide it in here, we still have way too much wiggle. How much further up are we? Still way too much up. Looks like we need to remove about another half an inch. Well, quarter of an inch. So we'll take off to here now. Okay, does that fit now? We are getting there, aren't we? Looks like we're a little bit short, but that's perfect. And I say that's perfect because the next step is actually to take something like a round sander, which I have here. We're just going to cut a groove into this thing. And the best thing you can do when doing this, and I haven't done it yet, is when you're doing it, make sure you go back and forth in the same spot for a little bit, just to get your grease started pretty good, and then start to force it around to try and even things out. Okay, that did not work like I hoped it would. It kind of came off centered. I thought I did better than that. Now then, that looks like it probably will work. Let's try putting it in there. That's a really good fit now. So now that we know that that piece fits properly, we can actually clean it up a bit. Up until now, we've just been kind of shaping it. So now it's time for the cleanup. Now, once this part's cleaned up nice and neat, which will take a little bit of time, I'm not going to pretend like it won't, because there are still some rough edges that need to be removed. I'm just going to make some more adjustments. Now we're going to find our regular sanders. We're going with about a 600 grit for the finish, just because this part isn't going to be seen, so it doesn't have to be super clean, but it still needs to be clean enough that it slides in easy. Now we're going to hit up all four sides pretty easily. Make sure you keep doing circle motions, it's going to help to even out the finish. And then we're going to hit it up with this thing here. I have no clue what the grit is on this thing, but it gives you a nice finish when you're done. So you don't just chuck the part across the room like I just did. Jesus. Get your shit together, man. Seriously, grinding. What the hell? By the way, in case anyone was wondering, that right there, what I just did to this part, is kind of how I got my name. Now we're going to clean these up. We're not going to worry too much about hitting them up with a sponge, because this thing here should just finish it off. And since these are contact pieces, we kind of want them a little bit rougher so they hold. Now, let's give it a go. Yeah, it's not completely flat, but it should work. Where is this piece? So lock it in and see. Yep, see, look, nothing's going anywhere there. Well, maybe if I shake really hard. Ah, you turd. Now, I built one of these before for this same build. So it's actually in the box, and I plan on using it rather than this one. But I just wanted to show you guys how I did it, because I did it off camera, and I said I was going to do everything for this build on camera. So first things first is to pull out the one I want to use, because this one was my first build of it. Should slide right in and hold perfectly. See? Just like that. Now, with that, all of our parts are finally pegged out, and the last modded part was made. So let me just put these away real quick so I don't lose track of them. Good gracious. Nope, you're the wrong one, that's why. And in theory, we won't have to go back into this drawer again, at least not tonight. So, everything gets put away there. Whew. It's a heck of a mod to start the show with, wasn't it? So, now we're on to painting. Now, unfortunately for those of you at home on Twitch, you're going to have to maybe move out a little bit and readjust it. I do apologize. I forgot about the fact that I was going to need into this particular drawer. Yeah, go figure, right back on the white dot. Oh well, you guys still have a pretty decent view, so I do apologize still. Fantastic. Now, actually, I gotta move you again. I just remembered we need in this drawer too. Just for one item, though. There we go. So, we're actually going to start here. Try to take this apart so I don't end up spreading out too far. Now, this piece here, I freaking hate these single mold V's that they put on them. They're fine, but they're a pain to paint. If you've ever had to paint one, you know what I mean. They are absolutely atrocious. That being said, we're going to try and do it as precise as we can with just this marker. Okay, there we go. That's done. So we let it dry, because that will take a little bit to dry. And while it's drying, we're going to move back to the head. Oh boy. Now, the bright side is, his exterior armor, we won't have to do much painting on, because there's not a lot of color there. Unfortunately, the head has a lot. So, due to the limited view of the freaking head and body and stuff, we're going to do this. And it looks like he doesn't have too much color on the head that we haven't already done. Actually, he doesn't have any color on the head that we haven't already done. I should do my research before. So we're going to clean this part up real quick then. Because when I was putting the paint on the back of it the last time, I did mess it up a little bit. So we're just going to do a quick cleanup. Doesn't take long. Now, I will say, when you're doing a cleanup with the blade like this, make sure you tip your blade to where the sharp side is facing like back, so that it's being pulled and not actually cutting. Otherwise you will cut your plastic, or you could cut your plastic, and that's just going to make the model kit look worse. You can also build tools for it. I have, but I've always found it just easier to use the back side of my knife blade. I usually get a cleaner line that way, and I don't have to fight with some bulky ass tool that I made, because this blade is nice and thin. Now that part is fighting me, isn't it? Okay. That looks a lot better. So now our part's cleaned out, and you guys can see it both here on Twitch. Well, so I'm going to turn this thing right. How do I get this thing to focus? Anyways, it's cleaned out there, and you can see it on TikTok too. Just in case Twitch didn't pick it up very well, let's try using this camera. See, it's all cleaned out. It looks good. So, I'm just going to set it to the side for now. The next thing we're going to go to work on is the chest, and that's going to take a little bit more work, just because there's white where there's currently blue. Bastards. Sadists. Okay, so let's try and get this one painted up, huh? So we're going to need a white primer to start. White primer, perfect. Sounds like I need to refill it soon. Thankfully I got a big container of it over there. Just refill the container. But we're going to go 4, 5. We're going to go 5. I think it's a 5-to-1 ratio. So now we add 1 part thinner. Pull out our stir and give it a whisk. where'd my rat go? There it is. So, we got another maybe 20 minutes live on TikTok, and then we're going to be switching over to only Twitch. Only Twitch. Sounds like a whole different kind of website. Well, that's not funny. Internet thing broke just now. Doesn't look like it. Cool. So we're going to grab one of our brushes. When doing these types of things, I prefer the triple zeros. You know what? I just realized we don't have any music playing, and it is driving me nuts because I can't hear anything. So let's get Chrome up and find some music on YouTube Music. Come on, Chrome, work with me. YT Music, boom, baby. YouTube Music, perfect. Why are you logging in under that profile? This thing has been dumb lately. I love how it's like, pick 5 artists you like, and it's like, here's Coco Melon. I don't like Coco Melon. Why are you... Okay, quit being stupid. There we go. I told you before to add that to the home screen. Okay, I do apologize for how loud that was. Good lord. Okay, so, like I said, I like to use these 000 brushes when I'm doing the priming and stuff. They tend to be longer so they can get into gaps a little easier. And they hold plenty of paint, so, you know, I don't have to go back to the well as often. Now, make sure you get the stuff on pretty even. You don't want it to have too many patches like I have here. The best way to fix that is after you go over it, go back through and just try to make it all look pretty even. You can also flood the part, but that's a little bit harder and runs the risk of removing any details. Which, as you can see here, it has some details in this part of the chest, so the last thing I want to do here really is flooding the part. I could flood the part if this was thinned out a little bit more, but right now it's 5 to 1, and for flooding I need 3 to 1. So I'm not anywhere close to being able to flood. Now I should mention, this is going to be the part that takes us the longest on this SD kit, is the painting, both priming and actual painting, because they are a little bit more time consuming than you might imagine. Now, it shows on the chest that there is these vent ports up here have yellow, and yellow doesn't show up too well on this type of blue, so we're going to prime them out as well, just to be safe. Now, normally I should have switched over to a smaller brush. I have some double-O's over there that work great, but I just wanted to make sure I got things done quickly, and I just flooded that part without trying. Some habits die hard. I can fix it once it dries up. So anyways, that gives us that part now. Another part that's going to have to be painted is in here. It has to be done up in red, which is currently blue. Once again, not two colors that work well together. If it was just a small changeover, yeah, it probably would work fine, but this type of red does not work well in that type of changeover with blue. So the best thing we can do now is put a couple layers of primer there as well. I'll be honest, a lot of today is probably just going to be putting down primer, just because there's so many parts that need it on this guy, due to the rather lackluster color separation that Bandai had going on in 2004 for SD kits. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not exactly amazing now, but it's a lot better than this. And I'm not complaining though, I mean, I'll be honest. I absolutely love SD kits, especially these older ones. They have a lot of charm to them. So I love putting in the work, especially with ones like this one, where you can see that the charm is there, you just gotta have time to bring it out. Trying to even out this priming. I think that did it right there. Yep, that should do it. So now we're going to real quick clean off our brush because this brush has done a lot. It needs to be cleaned off before we go on to the next bit. Now I'm looking, the arms are white. Anywhere we need to paint has got a color is already white, so it's fine. With Vallejo paints, priming isn't necessarily always needed, which is a great factor for these paints, especially when you're trying to save money. Let me adjust this screen a little bit so you guys can see me a little better. Okay. So figuring the arms are fine in terms of anything they need in that aspect. And I know everything in there is good. So we're moving on to the legs. Now the legs need some. I remember seeing it. Where did I see it? It's on the very bottom of the feet. Turns out the very bottom of the feet are supposed to have yellow insides for these thrusters. So we're going to start by clearing this. And just applying this directly in here. Now, with these, I'm not so much worried about filling in the bottom, like the middle circle, as much as I am the outer edges, because the middle is getting done up in black anyways. It's these outer bits that are going to be getting yellow. So it's best to do those now. It gives us one foot, and since we've just now painted feet, time to start using the wrap. Now the plan is we're going to get these parts primed up, set them to the side to let them finish drying, and then move on to working on the armor bits. What's it called? The choker armor, the stuff that makes him a bulky boy. And that is because they do need a lot of black. We're going to be using a black primer, so yeah, I want to get that done as fast as possible. Because once that armor is done, once I put on the black, I think that's all it really needs is black. Yeah, I don't see any regular colors on it. So, well, maybe a little bit. We'll have to look at the helmet and see, because it might need some white priming in there. Okay, so that one's done. Now, let's take a look at the helmet. Yep, it needs some white priming. I'm looking at it, and this piece here is supposed to be red. So we'll have to prime that to white, and that's going to take us a minute. So, this song is not what I want. Ah, Jesus. Stupid mouse. There. Sorry, I couldn't put up with that anymore. Normally I don't mind Linkin Park, but not tonight. I already had enough freaking screaming for one day. Okay, so we're gonna start priming out this part.
My head spins, I've been sipping lately.
As you can see, it doesn't take long to do. Wait, really?
I've been tripping, my God.
Oh, yeah, that's the design. I'll be damned. It looks stupid.
Brand new life, I've been looking,
Never noticed it before.
I've been looking lately. Oh, these nights, they've been
Now, fun story. This Gundam, the Alex, I got interested in it when I first saw it because it's the same name as my child. And one of my kids, his name's Alex. I started laughing because as I did my research on it and wanted to find out more about it, just its history and development and all, I found out the upgrade is named the Tristan. Which is ironic because the child right after Alexander, my middle son, is named Tristan. So that made me laugh because those two are thick as thieves. And Tristan is pretty much just another Alex at times. He has my face, his mother's attitude. It's great. Okay, so we got our primer on that layer. So, get off our brush again. We're going to set this to the side along with this. Set our brush to the side, because we will be using that brush again in order to save on resources. So let's pull out another tray. And like I said, from here forward we're working on the armor, the Chobham armor. I can never pronounce that crap. But we'll be working on the armor's black. So we'll be using black primer for it, although to be honest, this is the exact same stuff. I just refilled my regular black with black primer because it's the same color and I don't care. 4. Now we're going 1 drop less than our normal mix because we are going to be somewhat flooding the parts. And for anyone wondering why that cap looks different, I actually had to 3D print that one. The one that was on it broke. How much time we got left on TikTok? I don't even know how long I've been on TikTok.
Break it down.
I logged in like 10 minutes early, so at the top of the hour, TikTok is turning off. Now, that being said, let's get started. Doesn't look like this has any of the black on it. The helmet has some. Where is my... Wait, hold up now. Could I do that? Oh yeah, I can. Ah, thank you, Jesus. That's easier. Now, we're going to be starting off this one. Slightly different brush size. This time we're going with the double O. And it looks very similar to your triple O's, but it's shorter by a little bit. Like, for purposes of Twitch, there you go. And TikTok, there you go. It's a slight bit smaller, so it gets you into the crevices a little bit easier. You can actually have a little bit more control because you're closer to the source. I'm going to start by filling out these gun tubes on the helmet. Now with these, if you happen to go over a little bit on something like a tubing like this, and you know the outside's supposed to be a regular color, while it's still wet, just take your thumb and go across it real fast, and then boom, it's gone. Your thumb's a little bit dirty, but hey, the part looks good. Now, going into these grooves, we're essentially just flooding these things, which I mentioned earlier. There we go. There you go. It's all flooded out. There. See? And then TikTok. Boom, baby. Now, with that being said, oh wait, I missed a spot. Fantastic. I missed a bunch of spots and didn't even notice it. Because you know why? Because I'm an idiot, that's why. Now, that one's good. Looking at this one front and back, this is the right arm. Nope, we're fine on this one. We can skip it. So it's just panel lining. That's all it is. This is the butt armor. Well, for lack of a better term. And this actually gets black. So, it goes in here, but this little ring in the middle is supposed to be silver. It's supposed to be the original color. I'm just going to flood the whole thing, and I'll show you why in a minute. See, we give the whole thing a quick flood and give it a few seconds while it's drying. Now, it looks like the next piece we have to do is what? That's it. That's all the stuff on this part of the armor. Everything else is on the actual Gundam. And we're going to be working on that stuff in a minute with this stuff, but first things first, take your thumb, just go over this part real quick we just did. If you do it right, and if it's had enough time, you get these little streaks every so often. What you're doing is you're removing the excess paint from the circles, because the circles are at the same level as the sides. So your thumb should just take it right off. Now, you will get some damaged areas like this where the paint didn't hold, because you got to it and it wasn't quite ready yet. You just go in and touch those up, give them a quick little wipe down, a light wipe, as I like to call it. And once you lightly wipe them down, they should be fine. Man, my laptop's loud today. What the hell? I didn't think I was listening to anything that loud earlier. This laptop has some volume, I'll give it that. But what it doesn't always have in power, it definitely makes up for in volume. Don't know if that's a good thing or not, but hey, here we are. My kids seem to agree with it. So there's that. Now, this one here will get some specific areas in black when we get time for it, but I want to remove some details first because I think they're stupid. So we're actually going to be doing some modding here at this point, which I wouldn't normally suggest, but I know what I'm doing. So, I'm going to be removing these things on the side. They're painted on the book, but I don't feel like putting that much effort into them. And they're just superficial, like they're very, very light at best. So we're actually going to remove this detail completely. If they were deeper, I would be more concerned, but they are not. That's my 800. Where's my 2? There it is. 600 takes forever to remove stuff. Well, it is not taking off for nothing, is it? Where is that orange stick? I had an orange stick earlier. There it is. Looking better. Really what we're going to be doing is, since it won't actually remove them all the way, we're just going to be thinning them out to the point where they're not an issue anymore. Actually, they are coming out. Taking a little longer than I would like, but they are coming out. Oh, for anyone who's interested, I am trying to get a stream key to where I can stream on YouTube, but you have to request the key, so it takes a little bit of time. I have to check and see if I've gotten it in yet. I haven't checked today. I think they said it can take up to 72 hours, but I requested it almost a day ago, so I doubt it's in yet. Yeah, here we go. Now that gives us a nice finish, or will. See, on this side, it's almost completely removed. This side could probably use a little bit more before it removes it completely. And the wall's still pretty thick, so I'm not too worried about that aspect. I guess I should put it where you guys can see it. I keep forgetting to move the camera. I'm used to being somewhere over in that vicinity, so I'm used to doing it that way. Oh crap, it's time. Okay, so anyways, for those of you guys on TikTok watching, we are switching strictly over to Twitch. See you there. I really just did not feel like staying on TikTok that long. There we go. Look at that. That was much better. Look at that. It's gone now. Give it a good buffing with this stick. Now we just polish it out with these to make them nice even sheen. Now what? Yeah, I know. It's 2 hours to bedtime. No shit, Sherlock. I set my bedtime. I'm an adult. Well, I'm an adult, not an adult. Now, that looks a lot better. It feels better. I just hated that design. It's stupid. Like, it's fine normally, but with it being where it is on this guy, and the fact that it was something I had to hand paint in, and I had to be detail hand painting it, yeah, that wasn't going to happen. So let's put these away real quick so they don't get damaged, because been there, done that. And we're going to now take this, really quickly just kind of go in. Just to make sure it's clear. Look at that, that's much better. Now that looks good. So you're good, that's good. Let's make sure none of these other armor pieces need anything. This is a leg bit. It doesn't look like it, although it does look like I didn't clean it up right, did I? Doesn't it? But it did. It's smooth. Just looks weird. I'll have to paint over it. I do plan on adding some depth to this armor as we go along. Now that one definitely doesn't feel like I cleaned it up. What the hell? I know we did it. I'll have to go back and watch the original video, and I'm pretty sure I did it. There. Okay, cool. Weird. Now, we're going to go back to doing the white. First thing we need to do is loosen up our brush, because it's been sitting for a while, so it's had a chance to dry a little bit. So we just give it a quick loosen, give it a twist, that kind of thing. Where's our rag? So give it a quick turn in the paint, just to kind of get it wet, and then give it a twist. Go the right way and go slow enough, it should revive the bristles enough to use it. Now this time we're going to be going a little bit thinner, because I want to start smoothing out. So we're going to add one more drop of thinner to this. And where's my stick? There we go. Now if I had to guess, it looks like they used Phantom Gray around that gold bit, so we'll try that one later, but it won't be tonight, I can tell you that right now. Oh, it might be, we still have time. So, we're going to go through and add another layer of this stuff. Now at this point, with as thin as it is, because we did use a lot of it and then we added more thinner, it'd be really easy to accidentally flood this piece, so you gotta be very careful. As you can see, I'm just making sure to try and get it even. I'm trying to make sure I don't go the same way that the strokes were if I can help it. Like right here, I really can't help it, because that direction just happens to be the best direction to go. But I'm making sure my brush stays pretty wet in the process. There we go. Look at that. That looks a lot better. A little bit more. There. Take a look. That looks a lot better. It's got a nice coat of white on it. Once it dries, it'll look amazing. Now, we are going to change brushes like I should have the first time when I did this part. For anyone who's thinking that my brushes look super cheap, they are. I bought them on Amazon. Super duper cheap. They're designed to be disposable, but they work really well as repeat use brushes if you can keep them cleaned out and treat them properly. I'm all about doing things the cheap way because my heritage requires it. Anyways. You have to be in a Discord to get that joke, but if you're in the Discord and you've heard me talking about my heritage, you'll get the joke. Now, as you can see, I'm going back through, and even with this brush, going back through and doing up this section, is because this brush is a lot easier for keeping control in here. There we go. See? Ta-da! So, going through and hitting up this one again. Because since it's going to have to be painted red, I want to make sure it looks good with the primer. But I need to get the brush cleaned off because I can see a loose hair. It's not coming off. There, I got it. So now we're going to get some more paint on here. Just trying to get this part completely coated. Because the goal is to make this kit look amazing. So you're drying out, you're good, you're good as you're getting. And that just leaves you, but you're fine for now. Looking closer at everything. I just want to make sure we didn't miss anything with the primer. Oh, under the piece. That was dumb. Good job, Moron. You almost screwed that up. Now we're going to be sticking with the small brush on this one just because I do want to keep the control heavy. As you can see, it's not a very clean paint job I'm doing, but that's fine. I'm planning on fixing it later with a knife. Okay, there we go. That is looking really good. I like it. Picasso, I like it. Now then. You know, it's been years since this song came out, and I still absolutely love Owl City. Like, I absolutely love the music. Okay, so let's see, make sure this chest armor is good. Oh, it is not. Ain't that some shit. Okay, so I did not notice this, but this chest armor actually has some of the parts for the other piece molded into it. So I actually have to get in there and prime them, which is weird because they exist on the other skirt. Can we modify that? Give me a second, everybody. My brain's running overdrive. Yeah, I could mod that. How much would that affect it? Shouldn't affect the structural stability at all. You know what, let's go for it. Worst case scenario, we end up breaking this armor and I can't use it. That's the worst case scenario. We're gonna need you. Because what I want to do is I want to cut this section out, because this is literally this piece from the skirt plus this piece from the body. Just remolded into this thing at another point. I know that the Duel has something similar with his armor. There you go. Hope you can hold up for this one. Please don't screw this up. So just so y'all know, this was not a mod I had planned. In case y'all were wondering. And I'm pretty sure I made that clear in the comment. But, like, look, it's just a simple modification. But, if I do this right... I don't know why I'm doing it like the camera's still over there. God, Jesus, man, get your shit straight. Well, I did say I was going to show you guys how to elevate these things. I just didn't realize it was going to be like this. Now, real quickly, I just need you back on here for a minute. Make sure I'm completely right, but I'm pretty sure I know. Yeah, that's exactly what that was. It's literally just a recopy. What the hell? Congratulations, Bandai. You played yourself. So 3 passes through there. And we're going to edge this piece. And that's what we did on the other side. And we're going to just cut through there. All we're doing right now really is just scoring the piece. Ooh, that was close. I almost landed in the paint. I'm just scoring the piece so that I can see exactly what to do. Like I said, some of these older SD kits, they need a little bit of work, but if you do them right, they can look really freaking amazing. Wrong one. Wrong zippers. Okay, so we clip that way. Then we clip this way. Take out that chunk. That way I can see what I'm working with. Judging by how we did it over here, which still needs some cleanup, but I still got some more parts to remove for the cleanup. I never understood this stuff sometimes. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Well, it's not perfect. Damn it. Thought it was perfect. Thought I did those two pieces the same evenly. Just seen a spot I missed. Good vibes. Sort of. I don't know if this song would be qualified as good vibes, but whatever. Now, we're going to clean up these two parts to make them look the same on the inside. There. Hopefully, one last check real quick on something. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of an issue right there with that lock. Okay. That one lock on the chest armor is going to give us an issue with the paint. So we're going to just put this back on here. Whenever you get a spot like that, you just gotta go gentle. Get a few layers on and then flood the part. Now, since we know where the problem is, just reach in there and remove it. It might make the grip on it a little bit iffy when it comes time, but I think we'll be okay. This thing's got enough contact across it. And it's a softer plastic too, which is great. You want to feel like a fucking moron. So I'm about to do something stupid and I can feel it. You ever get that feeling like a sixth sense that you're doing something really dumb and you just stop and go, what am I doing? That was me just now with that knife. Just a couple of chest armor right there. Okay, so that should do it. Now, I know the part's still drying, but I want to check it. Make sure it still holds properly. Now the bottom one's having issues. What the hell? Oh, no, wait, that might not be paint. No, that's not paint. That's just me being stupid and scratching the plastic. We're just gonna clean that up really quick. Well, unfortunately, guys, I think I just gave you guys a more advanced class in modeling for an SD Gundam. Not intentionally either. That was completely by fluke. So let's see what I can do to get in here and clean up this one little spot, because I don't like the fact it's uneven. There. Cool. Now, we still have to take these pieces out on each side. I'm just going to have to figure out how to do it. That's the issue. This is a softer plastic, so I got to be careful doing this stuff. I think I may have stressed the part and I don't like that. But seeing how it goes. Yeah, I was planning on using color to add some depth to this armor. So I think it'll be fun. There we go. Look at that shit. That's a lot better than it was. Where is this? I want to see something real quick. Oh yeah, see, that's much better. Take a look, guys. So this side here is the unaltered. Oh shit. That's the unaltered side. This is the altered side. So as you can see, the white's a little bit more recessed on this side than this side, but it looks great. And since I'm only gonna have to paint that part now and that part on this side, it saves me a little bit on resources too. And I can always paint out the stress marks. I know how to do that. You don't get this far in modding without learning how to do that. So I guess that'll be our next lesson, huh? How to remove stress marks. Yay! There we go. Look at that. Comes out real easy. So if anyone's wanting to do this modification, it is actually fairly simple to do. The cleanup's actually the toughest part, and even then it's not really all that tough. I have had much harder before with a modification. I mean, hell, I got the name Grinding Gunpla because I used to use a Dremel to modify bear guys. Don't ask. It was weird, and if you guys want photos, I'd be more than glad to show them, but I'm not doing it ever again. I passed that phase of my builds. Now, because we did that mod, and because it did change that thing so much and whatnot, we will have to do some color alterations to the waist section, which is fine. I planned on doing it anyways. I didn't plan on making this thing extremely accurate in terms of the anime colors, or manga colors, or whatever you want to call it. I am going to be doing some custom coloring on the armor itself. Now I'm just going to modify this part. Oi! Look at that, that looks a lot better. Now, I'll trim this down a bit more because it's actually steeper than that on the other side. Now we just check it. Heck yeah, look at that. Like, here, I'll give you guys a better view over here somehow, maybe. Like, that doesn't look bad. And love you.
Hey, Nick.
I like giving her a hard time. It's fun. When you're married this long, you gotta give each other a hard time. I think it's required by law. So, now we've done that. We've modified our. We've added more color to our feet. I think, as far as we're gonna go in terms of priming, looks good. Now, before we go any further, I'll clean off all my brushes and add some more of this. Because, well, actually, before we do that, I want to add a little bit more thinner to bring it back to life, first off, because it is starting to dry out and I can see it. Doesn't take much. This will also make it a little bit soupier, so be a lot closer to our final coat, I guess you could say. Now for this one we are using the 00 brush, just because I want to get in there and really put down a good coat. In fact, we are going to kind of flood on this one in a way, just to get a nice even finish. There we go. We're gonna go deep into that corner again. Now when we get ready to start actually painting the grays and stuff, like this neck piece is gonna get painted phantom gray. That's the... Ironically, that is the color that most gun joints are. On occasion you get some weird colors, but it's very rare. Now as you can see, we're still flooding this piece a little bit, even down here. But because we didn't do it too much earlier, all those details should show up once it dries. We're just going to set it there and let it dry. Now, hold up. We got a little more paint. And then here. Let that sit for a bit and we should be okay. Now as far as everything else goes, anything else that needed white I think is good, except for maybe this piece here. I still see some mix in there, so we're gonna just one more time just to try and even it out. That looks really nice. Really, really nice. Sweet. Now I feel like There we go, and then we bring you back down to where you guys can see. Okay, so let's see if that makes it a little focus better. Not really, no. Okay, cool. Just shit all around. Good. Anyways, you guys can see it's looking better, like it really is. But I'll figure out this camera thing later. We're going to finish up with it like it is, though, because I'm not modding it again. So this part I'm thinking Phantom Gray, and we'll do more of this stuff the next time. I'm not going to stay on as long as I thought I was tonight, just because I'm freaking tired. Healing from this whole thing has been painful. That being said, let's clean up real quick, and then I'm going to let you guys go for the night. Let's see, this is Prime White. This is my airbrush thinner. Duh. White cap. Okay. Ooh, wait. Oh, yeah, you know what? Let's clean this up before we leave for the night. This primer is a pain if you don't clean it right away. Now, because of the way these shoulder pieces are designed, my plan is that I'm going to paint them in yellow and then use my pen nib to have the black to the center because I'm going to get a better angle. There we go. Now, these here are a lot easier to clean, just due to their exposure level, because they're so out there when they open. Really quick. Through there. Now I literally clean these up the same way that I was telling you guys before with the back of the knife blade. It's pretty much the same thing because I'm just kind of scraping it off. That one might have been a bit much. Won't know until I cut out this part. Sometimes I do etch guides in like that just to help me out. Yep, I thought so. That was a bit much. No, maybe not. It may be that the other side's wrong, but I'm seeing some dirt. Or not dirt, but broken edging. I call it dirt because it looks like shit. There we go, look at that. That is so much easier. Now, that looks a lot better. I'm going to go in here now and clean up this side. If I had a better angle for you guys, I'd be glad to give it to you. This is such a tight spot. Like, let me see if I can bring you guys down to my level a little bit more. There we go, sort of. Work with me, boss. There you go. Okay, move this out of the way and I'll show you guys what I'm doing. So, like in here, there's some stuff along the side here where it bled over. You guys can kind of see it there. What I'm doing is I'm just going in, using the back side of my blade, kind of going slow to remove it. It creates a nice crisp line, which will be great when I apply the red, because I'll be able to see exactly what I gotta do with the red too. But if I go in and do it everywhere, and I don't go too fast, I'll get some nice clean cuts and some nice clean edges from it that I can then use as guide later on. Trying to give you guys the best view I can on this stuff. Honestly, I wish I had like one more camera that I could set up closer and just switch between the two as I need to. But I mean, if you guys watch this and you got a preference on which type of camera angle you prefer, like the way overhead or the other one, let me know. I'll be glad to see what I can do to accommodate. There we go. So that's a lot better. Looks a lot cleaner. So that gives us that one done, minus a little bit around the neck here. I'm just going to clean that up real fast. I wasn't going to, but when I go to put down the gray, if there's a mixed color system like that right there, it's going to cause some problems. Honestly guys, Vallejo is definitely my go-to paint for damn near everything. I got a few paints I use in between when I'm not using Vallejo, but for the most part it's Vallejo. I just realized we could have done it. Didn't even think about it. Grab another brush. Still some fresh paint here. Ugh. Okay, that's a lot better. And there was something else I thought about just now I put it on. These are his arm cannons, or his arm gatlings, or whatever you want to freaking call them. But they don't need any paint outside of the black in the barrels. So we can do this now and just be done with them. What I said about getting slightly dirty? Spirits every time. Now, with that, I think we're as far as I can go tonight. Just because my focus isn't quite completely on this project. I got so much going on. That being said, it has been great to work on an SD Gundam. I've been missing this a little bit here lately. Between the PG, the MG, the 30-minute sister, I've been working on SDs as much as I'd like to. Did I not clean up this side? No, I didn't. No, I don't. Okay, looks like we got a little bit more work, guys. So tonight looks like it's just pretty much going to be modding and priming. I'm hoping to actually be done a little bit early tonight, but I don't know if I'm going to pull it off. We may at least end up going to 10 o'clock. Somehow I didn't get a whole lot in the top of this one. I don't know how I pulled that off. That being said, you really can't see where the black goes, so I'm going to have to draw it in. Now, I do want to add a little bit more of the white. Oopsie. Oopsie dip. Right up here. That's just gonna basically give that thing a stronger edge. Now the bright side is because of the white being, painted white for priming, I won't have to do much in terms of adding more to it. It's pretty much there. I might have to add one more coat of white up around this neck section here on the top, which I'm going to do now just because I'm here and I have it available. But, I mean, for the most part, I think it looks pretty good, in my opinion, at least. Once I add the panel, it's look really good. I mean, I'm no expert, I'll be honest. I still think of myself as an amateur at best. But I love what I do, especially when it's SD Gundams. Look, he looks dumb. Sorry. ADD's kicking in a little bit. That being said, we're just going to put this back on here. I'm not pushing it all the way down. But I wanted to allow that part to dry properly. Same with that. Now we're going to bring in our rack. Actually, I don't like it there. Now, I'm going to relock this piece in. I prefer to keep the main body to the back of the field. And then we're just going to start stacking parts. Oh shoot, I forgot we need to clean these up. There we go. Now, earlier I mentioned to you guys about, what the heck's it called? Building your own parts to clean up with. And how it's pretty easy to do. If anyone's interested, I can always do up a video on that. I don't mind. I've done it so often that I actually have spare tools everywhere now. I built them out of everything from old runner bits to sticks. So it's not like they're a one-time thing. In fact, let me show you guys. For example, this is one I use a lot, especially when I'm cleaning out like their paint dishes, the paint dishes and stuff. But you just take it and, as you can see, it kind of just takes it right off. Really fast like. And it doesn't take really any pressure because of the way the thing is designed. This is actually kind of where I started on learning to modify paint jobs and stuff like that. After they were dried, I started coming up with my own tools because one of the tools I like that I use, and I still have it, but I can't find the replacement bits for it anymore. So I had to come up with my own method so when it dies finally, which to be honest, pretty much there now, I could just replace it. And it's this thing here. This is a great little tool. Just put it on there, same as the other one. But for some reason, I can't find more of them. Like really all I need are the replacement bits, and I've looked where I bought this one at, which was eBay. I can't find it anymore. I don't know if it was just they were on sale and they were trying to get rid of them or what, but I've had it for so long I don't even remember what brand it is. Now, took off a bit much on that one, I can see it. We're just going to add a little bit back and then really quickly clean it up. Off the other side. There. Perfect. Now, this backpack Actually belongs on the back of him, but I kind of forgot to put it on there. So we're just gonna set it up here like this. Now for this one, without keeping anything from moving around. And we put our other pieces in there, including the new pieces that we've modified. And we're done with that. Now we just gotta do cleanup. And I'm gonna keep the camera running for that, just to show you guys that bit. That's one thing I don't normally do on camera, because I got this stuff here. Now what this is it's a mix of alcohol, 92 proof I think, combined with, see if I have to remember, Windex and water. It's like 40% the 92 proof, combined with, what is it, like another, like maybe 42, 58% water, so you know, most of the container, and then you add the blue Windex as a coloring agent so you don't drink the shit. This is it here when it's done. As you can see, it has a weird blue color to it. For some reason there's stuff floating in it. I don't know what the hell happened there, but it is a cleansing unit. I'll show you how it works. How well it works, I should say. We're just going to add a little bit in here. Well, if I can aim into both of these and just let it sit for a few minutes. You can already see it starting to work on the black. It's changing the color of it a little bit, which means it's eating away at it. Now, let's, like, I don't know how well you guys can see it, but it's probably not really well because of the angle, but like right there along, oops, shit, right here along here, it's starting to change the color of it already. It's turning into a gray. So it's eating away at it now. So in a few minutes all that'll be soft and I can actually just kind of, in fact you can see the white starting to drift outward, and that's a good sign that it's doing its job perfectly well. So we're just going to clean up these brushes real fast, and then we'll clean up those trays and you'll see how clean they come. They're amazing when they've been in that stuff. And to be honest, it's a cheap enough thing that you can make it fairly easy on your own, depending on what you're putting it in. Like that jar you guys saw of it, that is my second container of 3 that I've been able to make from the same size or the same alcohol thing. Like, here, let me show you. Open the junk drawer. Like, here's one more of it. Like, that's what I got left of the original batch I made. And then this was left of my alcohol itself. There's not enough there for a full batch, but when it comes time, I'll just measure it out and make a new batch out of what's left over and fill up other containers and move on. I want to say it's 48%. I could be wrong. Or 42% and then 58. I don't remember. I'd have to look. I have the recipe saved to my OneDrive, just because it seemed like such a good idea. And I bought that stuff, God, it's been years now since I bought the alcohol and made more of it. I only made 2 bottles in like 5 years. Ooh, I figured that piece. Okay, clean up our knife blade. Always clean the knife blade. That's my most important tool in a way. At least it's the one that gets used the most. Okay, put up rack 2 box. Now with the rack 2 box put up, we are ready to clean up these dishes. Which, I don't know if you guys have been watching, but the white's spreading, which means that it's getting loosened up quite a bit. Also, this rag I'm using is actually a fat quarter that I bought at Walmart. They're relatively cheap, about $1 a pop, maybe 2, but they make great cleaning rags. As you can see, I'm not really putting a whole lot of effort into it. Like, yeah, I'm pushing down pretty hard when I twist, but that's just because I'm just overdrive. But now that one's clean now, it's ready to move on. So, now onto the black. Now look, if I do a little bit of shaky, the black kind of starts to move. So, instantly to that. Now, I'm just going to go nice and light, and I'll show you guys how well it works. Now, remind you, this actually goes against my nature, going slow like this and light. But I'm not adding any real pressure. And there we go. Nice and cleaned out, ready to go. So yeah, that's how it turns out. Nice and clean. The stuff works great. If anyone's interested, I have the recipe. I'll be more than glad to share it. In fact, let me see. I don't even know how to do this part. Give me just a second. I'll see if I can find that recipe and I'll put it in this thing. One note. Okay. Grinding Gunpla workshop. Blue water recipe. Here it is. Yeah, so it's 91% isopropyl. Oh, I was way off on my numbers. 91% isopropyl alcohol, water, Windex. You add 1 part isopropyl alcohol to. Wait, what? Hold up. Give me a minute. Okay, so it's 1/3 isopropyl alcohol, 3/6 water, or in other words, 1/2 water, and then 1/6 of the Windex, and you shake well until mixed. Boom, simple, and it cleans up everything. Especially if you're using water-based acrylic paints, it works great on those. So anyways, tonight we have started our painting, primed up everything, got it all ready to go. Added a little bit of gold where I knew we'd need to let it dry for a while. And made some modifications, which I didn't even think we were going to end up doing. So, kind of an advanced class. That being said, you guys have a great time. I need to get off of here. I'm burned out all to hell. Take it easy.